Right. For those folks out there on YouTube, if you're watching me live right now, feel free to join. I do these every week. I'm Brandon Robertson, the CEO and the founder of the Mortgage Growth System. This is where you get a chance to talk to me about anything, whether that's our programs, questions, details, about technology, even things that you think I might know about, like advertising, lead follow-up automations, things of that nature. I'm more than glad to talk about that stuff too, even if it's not related to our programs. Either way, if you do want to do that, it's best if you just actually join via Zoom. And so you just go to Meet, MEET, not like meat like you eat, but meet like the person you're meeting up with, meetbrandonlive.com. And if you go there, we can get you on, you can just immediately join this Zoom call. And I am more than glad to answer any questions you might have. Again, like I said, anything that I might know. Sorry, I had to pause that so we don't have a doubled up audio. But either way, I am live now. Usually I'll stick on these calls here for at least 15 minutes, see if anybody jumps on. Again, I do these every Wednesday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. And if you guys do have questions, I will try to answer them. Usually I will have some sort of answer. If I don't, I'll let you know. But either way, I am live here. And I will be at least for a little while. We'll see if anybody joins today. Sometimes people have some really good questions. Sometimes we have an empty call. That happens occasionally as well. But either way, I usually broadcast these live on Facebook, but once in a while I'll switch it up and do it on YouTube because we have an audience over there as well. So either way, I'm going to stick around here and keep waiting and see if anyone jumps in and shows up for this stuff. So here we are. All right, so it looks like we got someone coming on here. Okay. Taylor, looks like we have someone on. Hey, how's it going today?
Is it just me and you, baby?
So far, we just launched up this meeting, so it's just as I see you're driving. Hopefully, you're driving safe.
Nope.
Cool.
I'm a mortgage broker coming back from lunch. What do you think?
Yeah. Probably not so safe. All right, that's fair enough.
I'm just kidding. Don't let the regulators. I always say, don't let the regulators get this
right. Don't worry, the lips are sealed over here.
I have my partner Richard here with us. You may know another one of my partners, Ashkan Bashiri. He just joined my brokerage. We've been friends for 15, 20 years in town. He's a good guy, contrary to probably what you believe. But he introduced us to your salespeople this morning, and cool. We were just looking to kind of get a little bit more detailed. I've been buying leads and doing marketing for since I got in the business. Well, since I could afford it, right? Once I got out of the white pages, if you've been doing it as long as I have.
Yeah, I get it.
So just trying to figure out, the efficacy of your program. What it seems like we're all but signed here with you guys. So just really want to get to the details and nuts and bolts of it. We are currently with YLOPO. Our brokerage is both residential real estate and mortgage.
Okay. Yeah.
And our YLOPO leads are about 1 in 150, I think. 1 out of 150 close, 1 out of 200 close. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty dismal. And part of it, because of that, it's kind of what do you call it, a self-driving wheel. The agents started figuring out that they weren't that good. So the agents stopped working that hard. Then it just kind of and then because they didn't work them that hard, they don't close as fast. And we just go around in circles. So we're trying to find something that's going to, really, where we're going to get the phone calls answered and the emails responded to. After that, it's our cross to bear. So if you can help me with that one, that's a good start.
Yeah, sure. Did you talk to Jake? Is that who you spoke with? Just so I have reference.
I think it was Jake. It was Jake. Yeah. All right. It was Jake.
Okay. I figured it was probably Jake. That's you, based on what you were saying today. Okay, yeah. I mean, I can try to, give you some insights and stuff. I mean, I don't hear like a really specific question here, but I understand at least some of it. I can't say I'm like super hyper familiar with YLOPO, but I do know what they are and what it, to at least a certain degree. At least last time I looked at their stuff, we had another client using it several years ago. So to my understanding, they're really a real estate driven lead type system, not so much a mortgage. Has that changed? Are you correct about that?
They're a real estate lead program, and because we do real estate and mortgage, it's just an easy crossover for us. The question is what the efficacy of your program is. We can't bear having another 200 leads dumped on us that we just spend our time calling bad numbers or sending emails.
Things like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, then, I mean, I can kind of make some comparisons to just knowing, like, here's the thing, right? Mortgage leads and real estate leads, they're kind of the same people, but they're motivated by something different. And I always find that when you have real estate leads, your conversion is extremely low. And this is just the nature of the beast. This is why we don't really do it that way. So what you're telling me sounds pretty normal. I don't think that's necessarily like YLOPO's fault or anything. It's just, that's how it is when you have real estate leads. You have people looking at a house, they think it looks cool and they're pretty and yada, yada, but it doesn't inherently engage them in the aspect that's really most important. Especially if mortgage loan officers are the one that are working the leads, or real estate agents. I would also say, on average,
you can stay real estate agnostic. We all know which side we love the most. So
yeah, right.
I'm on your team.
Okay.
I'm on team Brandon. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, historically too, real estate agents don't typically work leads as well as on the loan side. And I obviously don't know exactly why that is. Maybe that's the personalities that are drawn to that specific industry. A lot of it probably has to do with the fact they're more mobile frequently, out and about, seeing houses, all that kind of type of stuff. Those are all just speculations, but seems to be the case. We have a lot of teams that work in like co-marketing fashion, and most of the time it's the loan officer that's leading the lead handling and not the real estate agent. Not always, but most of the time for sure. So the thing is, so anyway, our whole, advertising angle is not like, hey, look at this pretty house, sign up to get more information about this house, any of the typical real estate angle type stuff. And it is always very mortgage oriented, about, starting the approval process or getting a quote or something to that effect, which does change the nature of your conversation. It changes the whole marketing that we're doing, all the way from, the moment they see the ad to the questions they're filling out, the motivators, the automations in place. So we would not typically, if you're doing the job right and following our processes, you should not have to thumb through 150 to 200 leads to get one. So that's kind of what I would say. Now, the other thing I will say too is, when you're generating leads of really any type, especially online, you definitely have people that are in different phases. And as long as you understand that you're going to have people, I always just say there's really 3 buckets. A lead's going to be in, it's ready now, ready soon, or ready later. We're doing everything we can to help you guys navigate those 3 different buckets through automations, understanding, teaching you about like lead psychology and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that and grasp that, some people will be ready soon, later, and a few will be ready now. So it is a process over time. Like any marketing will do its best work over time. And I'm always very clear about that. So, people can't come to this and expect to close something and, like ASAP. Most people will not close anything in the first 30 days. Typically you're looking at a 90-day runway before all of these aspects of the people signing up, becoming a lead, finally having a conversation, getting the application, them, getting pre-approved, finding a home, closing on the home. I mean, it does take time for all this. on top of the fact that, again, you're going to have leads in basically 3 buckets: now, soon, and later. So I guess that's
agree.
kind
I
of my
appreciate
piece
that.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so you're selling them a financial circumstance versus, that aesthetic circumstance. Everybody
Yeah.
loves to look at houses. I don't know a single person on earth says I don't like looking at houses.
Right.
Talking finance. So, one of the things that confused Richard's one of my top producing loan officers. He frequently one or two. But we pride ourselves in doing everything under the sun as far as financing. However, hard money we don't enjoy that much.
Yeah.
And it's very localized. I'm going to put it that way. It's very localized for us. So with your menu, your suite of services, you're suggesting that we get out to those 28 states that have no licensing requirements, and I don't disagree. I think it's a great idea. But I'm not going to have private money on $75,000 in Virginia, for instance. It's just not. And so, yeah, your team, their script was good enough, but they kept referring to non-QM as hard money, and hard money as non-QM. And so I'd caution that kind of keep those a little bit more separate. In California, those are very different words to us, just because of our dollar amounts. So just something to think about.
Yeah, I typically try to have the team use the term non-QM, but I will say this: working with a lot of non-QM or alternative lending, whatever you want to call it, everybody seems to gravitate to whatever word they like. So it's difficult to actually use a term that seems to resonate with everybody. So I actually prefer they use non-QM just because it is outside of your typical, primary owner occupied type lending for the most part.
And it's not hard money. Hard money is very privatized. And speaking from a man who just finished my Nevada state classes, non-QM is what the regulators prefer you to use. So everybody else got to get it.
There you go.
You can kill somebody in your house, roll them up in a body bag, and not tell anybody about it ever. but you need to use non-qualified mortgage. You can say non-qualified mortgage. So I know we kind of questioned Jake on that a little bit today, because we obviously we don't have the tranches of institutional investors with our hard money lending. It's mostly my uncle or somebody else's uncle.
Yeah, which is
full access.
Yeah. which I get. Yeah. Well, and if that's the category you guys are more interested in, I mean, that is also a slightly different beast than the conventional side of things.
Oh, we love non-QM. I started my career in subprime.
Yeah.
I mean, I write good. We write good loans. We don't write bad ones, but I love it because they're my kind of people. They're just like you. That we're business owners. We hide all of our money, whether it's from the IRS or from our ex-wives. Right. And we gotta figure out how to financially make this work. So anyway.
Yeah. So but then if you're looking on that side, I mean, we definitely recommend not being localized with that type of marketing. You will do better if you're further out. And then as far as like the way we handle those clients, we understand that all of you guys are you're very different. You get a very customized setup, because one person may be very into the hard money and that's all they do, and maybe that somebody else is just DSCR or lines of credit, things of that nature. So when we onboard you, we take all that into consideration when we're creating your marketing. It's it does make a difference, right? And so we cover the gamut, but you may not cover the gamut, and we'll just help focus in on that section that makes sense for you, the thing that you guys are good at. So does that kind of help with that?
No, a lot of it helps. I was a little indisposed while we're on the first call today, and I was at the gym, so we're trying to pick up the pieces here. What else, Rich? You have anything else?
I guess the only other question, which something I asked I answered, was integrating it with Follow Up Boss. Because I really do like Follow Up Boss.
Yeah, we would prefer not to use the CRM that you have. It's because we have one that we're already paying for, and it's linked in the whole company. How does that work? Some people are, other lead programs like this, not like this, but other lead programs.
Yeah.
Say that their follow-up systems are proprietary. They won't allow us to put them into a different CRM. So I don't know if you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know why some places do that. Jake probably covered, we do have an additional fee for integration. What we don't do, and we can do Follow Up Boss. What we don't do is we don't set up any aspects in the CRM. We're not going to go into it and like learn it and create specific campaigns and stuff for you. So that would have to come from your side of it, but we can integrate with almost any CRM. I do know for sure we can integrate with Follow Up Boss. I know, I think Ylopo and them like to use that, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's how you got to that system, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I mean, that's
Ylopo is just a lead gen company. They make it clear that they don't provide you a CRM. In fact, I heard on I listened to a couple of your podcast or your videos last night.
Mm-hmm.
But they only integrate with Ylopo only integrates with LionDesk, and which you brought up yesterday on something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Follow Boss, and then like some dumb one, like I heard it one time before. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, someone that nobody uses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody that begged them to integrate with them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we can do it. Like, hopefully, what I'm saying as far as like what we will and won't do makes sense. But we can push leads over to it. We just won't set up any campaigns or any other aspects of the CRM. So you would, whether that's you or somebody else that knows how the CRM is connected to and where it needs to kind of like get routed, someone would have to tell us. Usually there are some aspects of like, the lead goes into the CRM, but then it also has to do this, right? And that we won't be able to guess on. So I'm sure somebody, whether that's you or somebody else at your company, knows how it's set up or manages it or something. Is that the case?
Yeah, myself and Hannah, but we actually have a dedicated customer service rep. I'm one of like 5 accounts this guy has, and I swear I could get this guy on the phone in 3 to 5 minutes. It's crazy.
Oh, well, that's good. That's cool.
It's wild to think that,
Yeah.
Or considering I can't get Microsoft on the phone for like 2 days. So.
Right. If you're lucky. Yeah.
Well, cool, man.
So,
I dare try to get into the pricing model that you have because I didn't quite understand all the add-ons. But maybe we can table that, and if you guys can send over a contract for us to review. And you're just now saying there's an integration add-on, but there was also a using your CRM add-on. So it seems like I'm damned if I do, and on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get off the CRM thing, and I will answer your questions a little bit here, Elise, the only thing I would say is we do a lot of coaching, assistance, help, modifications of our CRM with our clients. I mean, that is a big part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. And if you are using something else, we can't make we can make generalizations and advice, but not understanding the capabilities of your CRM. It's hard for us to say, oh, you should be doing this, doing this type of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we can for people who are using our CRM, we can say, oh yeah, you just need to click this button, do this. Here's the best way to handle this lead. We can show those things.
You've been a broker before, right? Were you a broker before?
No, I have not. No.
And you don't know my pain. My pain is when every single person comes into my office and tells me they want to work with me, but they want me to do it their way.
Right. Which I understand.
Yeah, you seem like a great broker. I really like you. I like your culture, but I just don't do it that way.
Right.
Oh no, that's why I said I dare try to talk to you about things that are already painful to me. So
yeah.
Appreciate your time, Brandon. Hopefully there was nobody on there's a couple other people on the call now.
No, I think this is my team members. Okay. I think is all in here. Right. So
hey
awesome.
Guys,
nice.
We're gonna love working with this team. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, it's nice meeting you. Yeah, if there's no other questions, we can send stuff over and you can it should break it down. An agreement would clarify everything, I do believe, for you. So
Right on. Right on.
sound good?
Nice to meet you. Thanks for making this available. Thanks for, for the personalized time. I'm glad you took the time to get on this call.
Hey, my pleasure. Appreciate you guys taking the time as well.
See you guys.
Get back to
All right.
business.
Tell your team
See ya.
not to stop rolling your eyes at me.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. All right. If anybody's else out there on YouTube, looks like that was our last person for the moment. And I'll stick around here for about 10 more minutes. See if anybody else shows up in the meantime.